Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode. I am Rubab and joined by three awesome minds Rahma, Hooriya, and Areesha.
Hi, I am Areesha. I'm a software enthusiast and a big believer in writing code that's not just functional but also secure.
Hi, I'm Rahma. I love analyzing how real world issues like cybersecurity are handled or mishandled in software development.
And I'm Hooriya. I'm always curious about how teams can build better systems by mixing security and software engineering more strategically.
Let's dive right in. So, when we talk about cybersecurity in software, the question is who is really responsible? Is it the cybersecurity team, or should developers carry that load too?
I'd argue it starts with developers. We're writing the code, right? If we don't handle basic things like input validation, secure password handling, or proper error messages, we're basically leaving the doors unlocked.
Exactly. And the thing is, a lot of vulnerabilities come from not following secure coding practices. But to be fair, sometimes it's not just about writing secure code, but also about having the right environment, like using tools that detect vulnerabilities before the code even goes live.
That's the whole idea behind shifting left, right? So instead of waiting until testing or deployment to check for the security flaws, we bring security into the development phase. So with things like static code analysis and threat modeling, we can catch these issues way earlier.
Yeah, maybe you said right, but do you guys think teams are actually doing good, or are most still treating security like a separate department's job?
In a lot of companies, it's still siloed. Developers write the code and the security team plays catch up. And that delay, it's dangerous. Look at Log4Shell, that tiny flaw in Log4j affected systems globally. If that kind of vulnerability isn't handled early, it becomes a nightmare.
Totally. And even when the developers do raise the security concerns, they're often told, we'll fix it later. But later can be too late. Remember the Equifax breach? A single unpatched vulnerability led to over 140 million personal records being exposed. It wasn't just a tech failure, it was a process failure.
Which brings us to the accountability question. Should software engineers be held legally responsible when stuff like this happens? I mean, if an architect builds a faulty bridge, they face consequences. Should it be the same for code?
That's where it gets tricky. Software is often built under pressure. Tight deadlines, changing requirements, poor documentation. Holding just the developer accountable seems unfair to me. But at the same time, we can't ignore the impact insecure code can have.
I think it's more about the shared responsibility. Developers should be trained in secure coding, but the organizations need to provide the right tools, time, and cultures to support it. Security shouldn't be just a one-person job, it's a mindset that everyone needs.
And maybe even the users too. To some extent, social engineering attacks, weak password, that's not on the code. So yeah, it's a shared ecosystem of responsibility.
Right. But developers are still that first checkpoint. If we build insecure systems, everything else downstream, testing, firewall, even user education can only do so much.
Well said. To wrap it up, cybersecurity isn't just a checkbox at the end. It starts with the first line of code, but it only works when everyone, which means developers, security teams, management, and even users, play their part.
Code smart, code safe.
And let's normalize talking about security as a part of the dev conversation, not an afterthought.
Exactly. The earlier we care, the fewer regrets we'll have later.
Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, stay secure and stay sharp.